Yep. You're going.
I was looking back to see if you were back to see if I was looking back to see if you were looking back at me. You were cute as you could be, standing looking right at me. And it was plain to see that I'd enjoy your company. On Sunday afternoon, when I was driving down the street, I met a pretty girl who was dressed up so sweet. The way that she was stacked, wish I had me a Cadillac. Cause who would notice me just driving my Model T? I was looking back to see if you were looking back to see if I was looking back to see if you were looking back at me. You were cute as you could be, standing looking right at me. And it was plain to see that I'd enjoy your company. Well, listen, baby, it don't matter. Even in your Model T, you're as cute as you can be. If you'll take me for a ride, I'll sit right by your side. And we'll take our tea that we'll have fun and live. I was looking back to see if you were looking back to see if I was looking back to see if you were looking back at me. You were cute as you could be, standing looking right at me. And it was plain to see that I enjoy your company. Oh, me, oh, gee. Maybe she would notice me if I weren't driving this Model T. I was looking back to see if you were looking back to see if I was looking back to see if you were looking back at me. You were cute as you could be, standing looking right at me. And it was plain to see that I'd enjoy your company.
That was wonderful. Hi, everyone. This is Maria with Coffee with Mildred for the Cook County Historical Society. Tonight we are with the Sook family here in Grand Marais and hoping for, some mellow conversations, some classy tunes, and we'll get started. Remember, Coffee with Mildred was started because I got dragged to a lot of coffees with a lot of little old ladies named Mildred when I was little. And all the stories that you would hear at that time, you just wish you'd recorded those and the people telling those stories. And so I'm doing it now, even though I didn't get to do it then. So let's take it away. If you want to introduce yourselves, then I know how to refer to you during the interview.
Okay. My name is Sally Sook.
Tim Sook.
Timmy Sook. Little Tim.
Little Tim.
I'm like him, but smaller.
The more compact version.
Yes.
All right. Sally, Tim, Timmy. So how did your family come to be in Cook County?
Well, my family, a few generations back, have been here since around 1900.
1873. Grandpa Smith came here in 1873 from Canada.
Okay, 1873 then.
But the Buckovich side came around 1900.
Well, so my grandma Larson, she lived right over there. In fact, she came on America from Duluth, but she came from Halsnøy, Norway, with her family. And she married George Smith, who came in 1873, he says. But he died when my dad and his brothers were very young. And then she remarried Hans Larson. And then that's how we got related to all the Larson guys.
Is that the S-E-N Larsons?
S-E-N.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Hank, Roger, Lloyd. And then there was a few that probably didn't live here. But
Oh, wow.
yeah.
I had no idea you were related.
Oh, yeah.
Bernie.
Oh, Bernard, yeah.
S.E.N. Larson, not to be confused with other Larsons.
Well,
So,
she's the one that brought that
It's a
up.
very northern Minnesota problem.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
it
probably
is.
some other Ians that I'm not related to. But
Yeah, I should say that that's how I keep them straight in my head, is that I always think of them as the SENs. So do you know why they picked up here? Or why to move here?
You know, I don't. I think my grandpa George, grandpa, yeah, he probably came for timber.
Mm-hmm.
Why the Ides, that's my grandma's maiden name, came here, I'm not sure, but they were fishermen and farmers and stuff like that.
So did they farm up here?
Nobody farms up here.
They tried, let's put it that way.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody tries,
Yeah.
but no, nobody makes it.
They made, they grew their own food, I suppose. There's no way to sell it, but
Mm-hmm. So where did you grow up then?
I grew up about 2 blocks up the hill,
Okay, so right in town then.
right in town.
And how many siblings did you have?
I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers.
And are they still here, or did they move away?
They moved away, but now they're all back except my baby brother, Tom. He's down in Red Wing,
Okay.
but otherwise they live off here.
So what was it like when you were growing up? Being in town and.
This whole town was our playground. We would roam far and wide every day, building forts in the woods on probably somebody else's property. But nobody cared.
Mhm.
We could just do whatever we wanted to, ride bikes, play with dynamite wire. We collected that. And
It's a miracle she lived this long.
Did you at least wear a helmet?
helmet. What's a helmet?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was just fun.
Yeah.
We just played outside all the time.
And then where did you go to school at?
I went to the old grade school,
Which is the Harbor View Apartments?
Harborview Apartments, yeah, and then to the high school.
Okay. And who are your parents?
Nona and Melvin Smith.
Okay.
Nona was a Bakovich before she married my dad.
Oh, so that's how you're related to the Bakoviches.
Yeah, there was 13 of them, so we got a lot of them.
Everybody had big families, so we have a lot of relatives and cousins and stuff.
Oh my.
You figure the Bakoviches, the Smiths, the
Linnell's.
Larsons, the Linnells.
Oh, you are related to
We have a lot of
everyone.
relations, yeah.
Yeah.
So what music obviously is something that you've been doing for a little while. Was that part of growing up as well?
No. There was a little old lady that lived up here not too far from us, and she wanted to give us kids piano lessons, so she asked my mom if she could do that for free, mind you. And so we went there and had our piano lessons, and we were not nice to this lady. We were brats.
Did this have to do with dynamite too?
No,
Okay, good.
no. But it has to do with fudge, because she'd bribe us with homemade fudge.
Oh, that would have worked with me.
Yeah.
Why do you play piano?
Yeah.
Nobody else plays except
I
me,
don't get
and
so
I don't
fat, I
play
couldn't
like I
reach
should
the
for
keys.
having 8 years of free piano lessons. But that's my own fault.
So when did you start playing guitar?
Oh, when I was about 15. Yeah, my friend played guitar, and I just watched her fingers and did what she did until I could change fast. And yeah.
You should tell her about the guitar Grandpa Smith bought for you, the
Oh,
electric one that he still has.
Yeah, my dad was not one to spend money freely, but I asked him if I could have a guitar then to play, and he ordered me one from Ward's. It was an electric guitar. The case and the amp was right in the case,
Oh.
And I played that for a long time. He's got it
I
now
got
at
it
his
now.
house.
And
Oh,
it
you
still
do?
works.
Well, it doesn't work currently. I need to have the guts of it resoldered, but it's an airline. That was their model.
Airline, yeah.
Yeah, and it was missing that. Well, it's not actually a decal. It's a plastic piece that says airline and scrolled letters. And I searched the internet and found that. And I finally found one for $55. But you know how there was the two holes in it that was missing that piece because it was just a little plastic piece. And I got it, and it's in there now, so it's complete. So if I can get it working again,
Oh, good. Yeah.
You should be able to get that working.
yeah. No, I probably.
But that thing has been around as long as I can remember.
Well, I got it when I was 15. I'll be 75 this year, so
So a few years.
60 years.
Wow. So he actually started you off with an electric guitar versus an acoustic one?
Right.
Huh.
But you play it the same.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so.
Just a little louder.
It's noisier. Right?
It's
Yeah.
noisier, yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
So, and that was fun learning that.
So Montgomery Ward was the place to get things, not Sears.
Well, Sears had one too, but I don't know why I chose that one or if I even chose it.
Yeah.
Maybe he went down and just ordered. I don't remember.
I could see you choosing it. It's gold. It's gold with a blue case.
But
It's a
my
sharp
dad he always wished that he was musical.
Okay.
And there was a guy that came, well, in fact, it's hanging right over there on the wall. It's called a violin uke. Some guy came door to door selling them, and he shelled out $35 right then and there for that because he wanted us kids to be musical.
So are any of your siblings musical?
No.
No?
So that didn't work.
Yeah.
So much for that $35 he shelled out for that.
Yeah. But let me tell you another story. I saw that thing down in Arizona on Floyd Johnson's wall in his trailer. I says, oh, I used to have one of those. And he says, we bought that at a rummage sale at your mom's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take it down. And I said, you're kidding. And he said, no. And my sister had sold it. So after Floyd and Jean Ann had passed away, they were having a sale over at their house. And there that thing was. I bought it right back. Hung it on the wall.
How much?
I don't think you can play it, but it's a wall hanger now. But yeah, you'd use that on these things, and then you'd strum with a thumb pick.
Jesus.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was a neat thing, and I did learn how to play it. But like I say, see, it's $35 is right in there. So,
How much did you have to pay for it when you got it?
20.
You guys got a lot of money wrapped up in this thing.
They were
Nobody's being able to play
they were
it.
asking more than that, but I explained to her, the lady, I didn't know her at all, but that the story on this thing, and she said, well, then you can't pay this much for it. I'll give you $20.
Oh, very
I don't
cool.
know how many of those that guy sold in town when he was going through here, but
I won.
Paid for the trip up.
I don't know. We've been to a lot of rummage sales. I've never seen another one.
yeah.
So you graduated from school here.
Yeah.
And then what?
Well, then I kind of screwed up my life a little bit for a while. And then I went back to college when I was 22.
There's a lot. That would be me.
That would be you?
No, I wasn't talking about you.
Of course you were talking about me.
So I take it you had a child in that off time before going back to college. Two children.
Mhm.
Tim and
Jeff.
Jeff. Okay. And so
That he was the screw up. He was the troubled one.
he was the troubled
I
one.
know.
He was supposed to be my mild child, and I thought I'd have all kinds of trouble with you. But turned around.
Good to be righteous.
So that must have been hard going to college with having a couple of kids.
Wasn't easy.
And where'd you go to college at?
Hibbing.
Okay.
I went nurses training.
And did you guys move up there then?
Mhm. Yeah,
For
we
a
lived up there for 3 years. But we came back a lot, like almost every weekend.
Mhm.
Isn't that how you met Pa?
And I remember
Weren't you
the
on the way
old
back?
car
Didn't you get pulled
and the
over?
old
Yeah,
highway
but not
coming
when I
up
was
here.
coming back
It
from
was
there.
terrible. 61 was a terrible highway.
Yeah,
And that old car, I was probably laying in the back window.
yeah, they didn't have seats in those days, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like a free for all. We could be anywhere we wanted to be. No seatbelts, no nothing. And look, I'm still here. I even rode a bike without a helmet. Yeah.
Oh my. Are you sure he's not the wild child?
Well, I thought he was, but when it all came out, the other one was, and this one's mild.
Ah.
I don't know about all that, but
You don't know everything.
So you came back to Grand Marais then,
Mhm.
and then you were a nurse here,
At the clinic for
Okay.
28 years.
and still just you and the boys then?
Well, in 1976, I married Stanley, and
Okay.
then he adopted the two boys the next year.
How in the world did you meet Stanley?
Well, I first met him in 1968. He pulled me over for speeding. That's the first time I'd ever seen him.
Here in Cook County?
Yeah, right out on Highway 7 out there.
Okay.
I didn't get a ticket.
Mm.
I
Must have
think
winked
he
at
felt
him.
sorry for me. I'm
Okay.
sure he did.
Well,
So was he the only deputy then?
No, there was two.
Two of them?
Mm-hmm.
So it was him and who else?
he was a city.
Joe Jarek.
Yeah, he was a city cop.
Oh,
city.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to keep all of that straight.
He came here in 1968, so he hadn't been here very long at that time.
And now he had a very thick accent. So where was he from?
Stanley did?
Yeah. I always thought he had an accent
Oh.
or a certain
Well,
kind
he's
of
from
twang.
Nebraska,
Okay.
and he's full-blood German.
Okay.
So did that ring a bell at all? I never
I
thought he
think
had an
I think what you were hearing was cursing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that's what
That
you were listening.
maybe that could be.
Yeah, yeah. It just sounded like gibberish. You know, kind of like the old man in the Christmas story. Remember when he goes downstairs and
He was the master at it, I do have to say.
Okay. So he was from Nebraska, and how did he end up here?
Well, he was up here in the Coast Guard in the early 50s,
Okay.
and then went back to Nebraska, and then the mayor called him and asked him if he would come back up and be on the police department. And he decided to. You know, he probably made $35 more a month by coming up here or something. So then he worked for 29 years or something for the city before he retired.
Yeah, Skinner's got lots of stories about Stanley chasing him around town.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. I think a lot of people probably do.
So he pulled you over for speeding, and then, I mean,
Well, I only met him then.
okay.
You know, we just, like, he did his thing and I did mine, but we didn't socialize or anything until 74. So,
And what happened in 74
did he
that,
pulled over again?
no, I didn't. I don't remember. Oh, he came to Hibbing. Maybe it was 73. He came to Hibbing to go to a school for copying, and he knew that I was there because my mom had told him, "Oh, stop and see Sally when you're up there." And he did.
oh,
So, yeah,
and then the rest is history.
that's right.
Got married and he adopted Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like working at the hospital or being a nurse at that time?
Well, kind of like it is now, except we had no computers. I'd have been done there long before I was. Computers. But, you know, it's pretty much the same.
Were you at the clinic or the hospital?
I was at the clinic that was my main job. But then they came and asked if I would work every other weekend at the nursing home. So I was over there for like 10 years, every other weekend.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you were in the clinic when it was in that separate little building that was like a house.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would get calls once in a while to go remove a snake.
From the clinic?
Yes. And he'd always come and do it.
Where would the snakes come in?
Who knows? But that whole area up there is just full of them. I suppose they came in any crack they could.
You just ride up on your bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd call
I wasn't
them.
all that old. I'd just go up there and he'd say, oh, it's somewhere over there. And then I'd go grab it and I'd go with it.
I wouldn't work there with the snake going around, so somebody had to get rid of it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And I remember walking, like I'd go back for a physical and you'd walk into the room that was like the nurse's area with the table there and you would do your own lab tests right there, you know. You'd pee in the cup in the bathroom off to the side and
We
you
did
know.
a couple of the easier ones, but most of the lab was done at the hospital
yeah. But and then you'd go back and there was
rooms.
rooms back there. Who are the doctors there when you were there?
Ooh. Dr. McDonald was there. He was probably the only one there for a while when I first started.
And Galley.
Galley came later. Galley and Hilfiger. Then Dr. Banks. And then much later, Dr. Stover, Carroll, and Delphs, and somebody else. Oh, DeBevick was there too. Yeah. So, but Dr. McDonald did it all when I first started there.
Mm-hmm. And they used to do like procedures and things.
Mm-hmm.
And you helped with those?
Yeah.
And now we can't do hardly anything.
Well, no. The procedures I helped with were at the clinic,
Okay.
you know, simpler things.
Mm-hmm.
How did you help with that? Hold the flashlight and keep the snakes out of the door?
No. Oh, just
I-
handle it.
That was your
I
job.
never even got a cap and gown. Snakes. I did nothing.
So when you moved back to town, were you living in the house you're in now, or were you?
No, I lived in a small house over on Broadway, and then that was sold right away.
That was Teresa's.
Yeah. And then we moved out to a trailer at the Gopher Park. And then after Stanley and I got married, then we bought this.
Oh, okay.
So,
So Tim, for you growing up, it was kind of the same deal of town was your whole playground?
Yeah. Yeah, in the summers, I just wasn't home much. In fact, I was usually late coming home. Usually got in trouble for that, which was nothing compared to what JK did. So, yeah, we're good.
Like the courthouse.
Yeah, we'd play all the. See, she grew up right here in a house, right next door, and then all the kids here would go play at the courthouse at night. You'd play games where you go hide around the building, and you had to try to get around the building without getting caught or something. I can't remember what they were called.
Sardines.
That was it.
Sardines, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dumb name.
and when I was growing up, we couldn't play on that lawn. We couldn't even set foot on that lawn.
That's because the glaciers were still sitting there.
They had a real conscientious lawn or janitor person, and he would stay late to make sure that we didn't come down there and play on that lawn.
Who was that?
It was a Mr. Carlson.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to find out which Mr. Carlson that
I
was.
can't remember what his first name was.
Green guy.
He probably had a heart attack if he was that.
Oh,
Worked up about it.
there wasn't a dandelion on that thing. It was all mowed exactly the same length. It was beautiful. It was a real we were tempted to go on it because it was so nice.
I used to pick crawlers there and then sell them to Midway. And one time I picked 79 dozen. I was out there till like 4 a.m. and I couldn't even stand up when I was done. But I thought I was rich. At 45 cents a dozen, I really banked the coin that day.
And who owned Midway at that point?
Sherman Benson and
Harold.
Harold.
Okay.
Sherman was the one I dealt with. He was good to me.
Buying all those crawlers at one time?
Oh yeah, he'd come with a whole stack of containers, and then I'd have to put 12 in each one. No.
It was before child labor laws were what they are today.
Hey, I was independent contractor.
All the rules are out the window then. So what other summer memories or winter memories?
Well, one memory that's more pertinent here is I used to have a piano set right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I would come in and she'd be playing that piano and she could play Music Box Dancer so perfectly. I would stand out there where she couldn't see me and I'd watch. And I'd watch her play that. That was always impressive to me. I remember that a lot.
I didn't know that either until he was into adulthood, and then he mentioned that he really liked that song. He'd stand out there and listen to it.
Oh, it was just so perfect.
I never knew you liked piano so much. Why didn't you learn how to play piano?
Because I'm an idiot.
You
I
too
said
busy.
before, if I'd have known that the guitar guy's got the hot chicks, I'd have done that too, probably. But it wasn't that she didn't try to get me to play things, but I was just too busy doing nothing important.
Too busy picking night crawlers on the courthouse lawn, apparently.
Sorry, I can't be playing music.
But you did become kind of an Elvis. I've seen you in an Elvis
Yeah.
outfit.
Yeah, that was a lot of pounds ago.
Yeah. An Elvis impersonator.
But see, I love Elvis Presley, always have. And believe it or not, like Gordon Lightfoot and a lot of them, all the records that I stole from her, he now has stolen from me. So he's got her records. So take it up with him.
Well, that's okay. I told him he could take any of that. He didn't. He took a bunch of tapes last night.
Did.
Yeah. And then my friend, the one who I'd learned to play the guitar from, I mean, this is like 20 years later or more. We got together. She played the guitar and I played a little keyboard. And we'd get together and play music. Well, one night we called him to come over and listen. Well, we asked him to sing, not knowing that he could sing at all, but he sang Can't Help Falling in Love. Perfect. He was right on tune, right? The tempo and everything was right. We've got a singer.
That's called being drafted.
And so then you were part of the band.
Yep.
Yeah, and that was Elvis for a while.
So what, you mentioned something about the first time that you got up and sang was just up the road at Dawkins.
Oh yeah, that was when I was just really little, and they had a little garage band. And of course, me and Danny Everson were hanging around being a pain in their butts, I'm sure. And so they put me up on a big box, and I could reach the microphone, and I sang Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog. I was good at it, though. I
bet you were.
Yeah, they were always playing music over there. Yeah, you could always hear them in the garage over there.
Yeah, the Everson clan was very musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then the guitar playing skipped a generation,
Yeah.
obviously, and now you have a son who's a professional musician.
Well, Ma is really talented and can play a lot of things. And fortunately for him, she could help him along the way. But what he does is, I don't know if
We had
A
we
gift
had
like
to
that.
learn. what we knew. He knew it
He was
naturally.
born with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really.
Well, I mean, I feel like I tried a little bit.
Well, you did, but I mean, it went so fast.
Yeah, I mean, he literally take an instrument he'd never touched before, and within minutes could play
Something.
recognizable songs. I mean, it really was a incredible thing. It started already come back. He'd gone down for a couple of weeks with her and Pa down in Arizona. And he come home and he says, I want to learn to play the banjo, because he'd met an old man down there that played the banjo. And of course, I'm like, yeah, you want to learn to play the banjo now, but as soon as we get a banjo, then you won't want to play the banjo, and then I'll be stuck with a banjo that nobody knows how to play, right? But I did it anyway. We got him a banjo, and I figured where we could order one from. And he got a banjo, and he took 2 lessons from John Redshaw, and after the second lesson, the note came home and said, don't send him back here anymore. He's already beyond me. So then he figured that out so fast and was playing songs on that, and then he wanted a guitar, and he had that guitar pretty quick, and so then he learned that, and he just my buddy Poot and I were carrying a piano into the house. Well, not carrying it, you kind of skid those things, and as we're skidding it across the floor, he's playing it because he wanted the piano. So,
And apparently I wasn't very good at moving pianos, so.
he didn't help a bit. He just played it.
Well, it was all that time on the picking night crawlers. You really got them strong haunches on.
Yeah. But he's just gone beyond anything that I would have ever imagined. So his ability, his songwriting ability is unreal. And so because when I look at these two, they're the ones with talent. I just kind of hear.
You were a very good singer, Tim.
Yeah.
And you could fit into an Elvis suit,
Yeah, he has the Elvis suit now, and it fits him. So you can tell what happens after a certain age, right?
We're really good till about 35, then we start going downhill something fierce.
I wasn't even that good at 35.
Well, you got some town miles on.
I mean, I wasn't totally gelatinous like I am now, but
So what was, do you think, the first song that you learned how to play?
Well, we were talking about that earlier. I think it was Long Black Veil, Lefty Frizzell.
Yeah.
I think.
I think you actually banjo first.
Probably so.
Can you play it on guitar?
I can try.
You can play it on anything you want to play it on.
10 years ago, on a cold dark night, someone was killed neath the town hall. I forgot the words. Oh, man.
It's been a while. It's okay.
Oh, man, we should have printed those out before.
Yeah,
That's all right. They get the gist.
Well, you see, yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. If I could have
Well,
made it
the older folks will know that song.
right, yeah. Just picture the rest of it.
Yeah. They're already carrying on, singing more. What do you think your first song was, Sally? Do you remember?
Maybe Water by Marty Robbins.
Do you remember?
Maybe.
Does anybody know how to play that?
I
No,
don't think so.
I don't even know the words. I don't think.
not
The words
anymore.
are the
Listen to him,
All
Dan.
day.
Don't you listen to him, Dan?
Yeah.
It's the devil, not a man. He's pressed the burning sand with water.
All day I face the barren waste without a taste of water. And folks are bright, and souls are bright. Oh, water. going up here.
Right.
Not
You're
the rest of
definitely being put on the spot here. We don't have any kind of playlist whatsoever. So you mentioned Lois was also very supportive in your
Oh yeah.
musical
I
career.
was thinking when you just were talking about getting me my first guitar, you guys got it from Marlboro Miles.
Yeah.
Miles on the size of the pack of cigarettes.
Uh-huh.
And they clipped them out and mailed them in, and plus I don't know $50 or something, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, it came in.
But as it turns out, this guitar was actually made by Gibson.
Martin. It was a
It
Martin.
was a
Yeah.
Martin guitar.
And he's still got it.
I do. I still play it. Yeah.
And it's still, but he has a way of touching a guitar that is really stands out. I can recognize his playing anywhere, just by the way he touches the guitars. And that guitar, for as cheap as it was a good sounding guitar.
Oh, yeah.
It still
It's
is.
a solid spruce top. But they couldn't put name brands on there. They were made specifically for Marlboro. They were American-made Martins assembled overseas, but they were American parts. So it has solid spruce top and mahogany neck, and
Just like any of these.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So it's a great guitar. Yeah. So you did good, basically what I'm saying.
Nice.
All those cigarettes you smoked.
Yeah.
They really-
Well, worth it. Ruined my
they really
voice.
were.
Your voice, but
yeah,
that's right. You
gave
got
him
the
a
guitar.
guitar.
That's the main thing.
Yeah. So thank you.
And Lois she's like the epitome of what a great waitress in the county was. I mean, she's an icon as far as waitresses
I've
go.
heard that a lot from people.
Yeah, she was pretty good at it.
Yeah, I mean, she just had a way of, you were her best friend when you were in there and got you everything that you needed, and even if you didn't know you needed it, she was on it.
Well, and hopefully, even if she didn't like you, she was that way. But I don't know. I think there's some Canadians that come through that probably picked up on a little something. But
Yeah, I was never, I don't think so. I was made sure to tip good. But what else did who was her family and where did they come from?
well, I don't know much of the McLeans.
The
I don't know
McLeans.
much about when they got here.
Well, they got here before she was born
Right.
in '57. So they came from Ironwood, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Iron. One of those irons down there. But no, I don't know much.
So you got some cheesehead in you.
Yeah. A little bit.
So how did were you and Lois in the same grade or?
No, she's a bit older than I was.
Okay. And how did the two of you end up together?
Oh, I was a crazy young lad that
Out with it.
probably wasn't using good sense.
But you got a good product out of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you gonna do to me what she did to you earlier? Oh no,
Yeah.
that was all a mistake. I wish that didn't happen.
No, I wouldn't say that. I would never say that. But I was pretty young, and I think in time, it just proved to be a little too much. Our age difference was a lot.
Mhm.
So, but I certainly would never say anything bad about her. She's a good mother and was good to the kids. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was always bragging about the kids.
Oh, could you not brag about this one?
There's other ones, I don't know, but no, I'm just kidding.
No, she did.
Because you have two sisters, right?
Yes, yeah. She had my half sisters and half brother. But they don't. My brother plays music a little bit. But,
He was pretty good on the bass.
yeah,
at
he
one
did.
time.
He kind of let it go a little bit. He doesn't pick it up so much anymore. But she was always encouraging him to play better music. So maybe that's why.
Well, she made sure that your sisters each played a.
They did. Yeah,
Yeah.
she did. She made sure we all played. She wanted us all to play in band, but then I kind of was smart about that, and I picked up the banjo before I had to start band, so I never had to go down that road.
You could just play on your own.
By the time I had learned 2 instruments by the time I was eligible to play in band, so she never bothered me about that. But a lot of people start playing in band and then they never pick their instrument up again. They
Right.
play it in school and then they never played it.
That's right.
So, guitar is a little more versatile of an instrument.
But you can certainly do more with it.
Yeah.
So did you always get picked to go to the parties in high school and bring your guitar and play?
I certainly did a bit of that, but I was, I don't know, I didn't. I spent a lot of time alone in my room playing and writing and everything like that. It took a bit of doing to play, and then I started performing right away. That's the thing. The performing music and the learning how to play music happened simultaneously almost. I mean, what was it, 6 months or something after I started playing that we got our first gig there at the Trail Center.
Yeah, I don't even think it was 6 months.
But
Yeah.
so
how old were you?
11, must have been
He
11.
was 11 when he told us he wanted to play the banjo.
So I was performing right away, and so every time I'd learn a new instrument or pick something else up, I just incorporated it into performing. So people always ask me if I get nervous, and I don't get nervous because really playing in front of people doesn't feel really any different than playing in my room.
You just pretend they're not
I just
there.
Except hopefully you have clothes on.
Yeah, except yes.
Yeah.
Usually I do. Usually.
Now everybody's going to be on the internet. That's Tim Styles on the internet.
But you played for baccalaureate the year you graduated and graduation. And a couple years before that, you played at the Christmas thing, that Christmas song you wrote.
Yeah.
So what kind of songs did you play at your first performance?
Well, I played banjo then. I don't think I had my guitar yet.
Yeah,
Or I was just starting the guitar.
I was accompanying him on the banjo. So
I was playing banjo, you were playing guitar. Right?
Yeah.
And it was old songs.
It was old Jesse James,
Yeah.
some of those old.
Usually the songs that you first learn, are simple. 2 chords, something like that. So,
Mhm.
But he when we'd be out running around in the pickup, horn hunting, doing things like that, I always had music in the tape deck back then. And there was a lot of Flat and Scruggs and Gordon Lightfoot and
Chris Ledoux.
And a lot of country stuff. So
He had a Willie Nelson album or tape, but you bought it for one song, City of New Orleans. Remember that tape?
yeah.
And then you didn't like the rest of the tape.
Yeah, probably not. Well, how many albums do you buy for one song? A lot.
So who's your favorite artist to
Oh,
perform?
God, I don't know. I don't
You
know.
just
that I
like
have-
it all?
I don't know that I have a favorite exactly.
Well, you liked a couple of them that are dead now.
Well, most of them are dead now, unfortunately. But I played a lot of John Prine.
There, that's what I was trying to think.
Yeah.
How about let's hear a little John Prine?
Okay. I'll play. Steal this from me here. I normally say at my gigs when I do this song, I don't think I've done a show since I was like 14 or 15 that I didn't do this song. I am an old woman named after my mother. My old man is another child who's grown old. And dreams were lightning and thunder were desire. This old house would have burnt down a long time ago. Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to believe in this living is just a hard way to go. When I was a young girl, well, I had me a cowboy. There weren't much to look at, just a free rambling man. That was a long time, and no matter how I tried, the years just flown by like a broken down dam. Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to. To believe in this living is just a hard way to go. There's flies in the kitchen, I can hear them a buzzing, and I ain't done nothing since I woke up today. But how can a person go to work in the morning and come home in the evening and have nothing to say? Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to. To believe in this living is just a hard way to go. To believe in this living is just a hard way to go.
Very nice.
Something like that.
That was all right.
That's all right.
Just kidding. That was amazing. So did you, you're making a career out of music?
Well, that's the idea. Yeah, it's nonprofit mostly, but I'm just kidding. Yes, I play for money. Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm. And where do you live now?
New Mexico. I had to think about it for a second. I've lived so many places, but I live in New Mexico now. Yeah.
And have you lived in so many places just doing the music thing? I mean, where do you even start to like, I want to have a music career? And
Well, you start by getting paid to people want to hear you, you know? And that kind of sorts itself out. If you're not very good, nobody wants to pay to hear you. So that kind of sorts itself out. But I lived in Nashville for a while. I write, that primarily is what I do. And so that has to start somewhere. I'm a published songwriter. But then, you don't make a lot of money in Nashville. Everybody's, playing for tips, and that isn't much. And so you can make more money elsewhere. So I've lived all over the country, really. The last move was from California, and now we've gotten to the point where I can kind of go and live from anywhere and play and travel and play. So we finally got our ranch in New Mexico, and I think we're going to stay put there for a little while now because we're pretty tired of moving.
He's played at some pretty big name places. He's played at the Whiskey A Go-Go.
Whiskey A Go-Go, yeah.
And then Bucko and Silver Palace.
Crystal Palace. Bucko and
yeah.
Crystal Palace, yeah.
It doesn't take him long after he moves to an area to get known. You'd think that would take a long time, but it doesn't.
Well, getting the second gig is never hard. It's getting the first one that's hard.
Yeah.
Once people hear you, they think, hey, that's pretty good, so I'll have you back. But it can be kind of difficult to get the first one sometimes.
definitely helps if you know people and kind of who you know.
Well, and that's part of the problem. Everywhere we move, we don't know anybody. Kind of have to start from scratch every time.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we've had a lot of fun. I've got to meet a lot of interesting people, see a lot of interesting places.
Made a lot of good friends.
I have, yes.
Mhm.
Well, everyone wants to know the guitar guy. and everybody's got a party for you to play.
Yeah, I can think of a few to come back for.
I'd like him to come back for Radio Waves.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Why don't you play an original song? And pick a good one too.
Want me to play that A Lot Like Me? You like?
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what key it did in.
So what's the song called and what's it about?
I just released this one. It's just a country song. I released this last year. I picked it because he likes it so much. Otherwise, he's going to ask me for a bunch of songs I don't want to play.
I hounded him pretty good about it.
It's just it's called A Lot Like Me. Someone thought they saw me out here raising hell, throwing quarters in the jukebox like it's a wishing well. You're playing old regrets and memories. Sure does sound a lot like me. See them hiding in the shadows, shooting whiskey down, wearing out his welcome at every joint in town. Wherever drinks are cheap and pain is free. Sure does sound a lot like me. Just another crazy fool sitting on the corner stool, talking to himself about the one that got away. Can't outrun the emptiness that comes with losing her, I guess. And every night he's with her in his dreams. Sure does sound a lot like me. Yeah, that sure does sound a lot like me. Now he's leaning on the payphone, broken heart and all, too sober yet to let her go, but drunk enough to call and say sorry for the man he couldn't be. It sure does sound a lot like me. Just another crazy fool sitting on a corner stool, talking to himself about the one that got away. He can't outrun the emptiness that comes with losing her, I guess. Every night he's with her in his dreams. It sure does sound a lot like me. Yeah, that sure does sound a lot like me.
You do like that one. You should do that one about the
No,
why not?
no,
That's a good
no.
tune.
No.
Okay, I guess you're not doing that one.
Well, I think you should do something on the piano.
Well, that's.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Let's take the interview.
What'd you say?
Don't hijack the interview.
It's all right. Hijacking is allowed. Have you written any songs about family members? Or how do you do your songwriting process or get your inspiration?
Well,
he sees something that inspires him, so then he builds a song around it.
Yeah, basically. Not all songs are personal, but it's kind of like, I would imagine someone who writes a novel, when they're building a character, you're pulling different elements from all kinds of different people in your life. So it's never any one path. Where are you going?
The back. I'm old.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Hey, what about Hero?
I have to go. I can't do that.
Well, tell them about the roses you saw on the side of the road when you were moving to California.
Oh yeah, there was yellow roses on the side of the road, and
Where somebody had died,
Yeah, and they had, it just struck me as odd why they would have yellow roses, not white roses or red roses, and when you're writers obsess about things like this because we have to build you start building a story in your mind of what must have led that to happen. Chances are someone just either they didn't have the fake red roses or fake white roses, they had fake yellow roses at the Dollar Tree, and that's what they ended up with for the cross. But I saw the yellow rose, so I had to come up with a backstory, and that's when I wrote that Mama didn't raise a rambling man.
Yeah.
Bury me along the lonesome highway, somewhere cool and shady if you can. Plant for me a yellow rose, so everyone who sees it knows that Mama didn't raise a rambling man. Yeah.
It's a good song.
Well, can you play a little bit of it?
Yeah, sure.
Don't forget that Capo's mine.
I wouldn't drink of it. Spend my life running down the thunder, acting like the road will never end. Reckon now my days are finally numbered. So when I'm gone, promise me, my friend, you'll bury me along that lonesome highway, somewhere cool and shady if you can. And plant for me a yellow rose, so everyone who sees it knows Mama didn't raise a rambling man. I don't gotta do the whole thing. You get the gist of it.
That was very nice. So does your dad call you with ideas? Or your grandma?
What?
I just
songs?
have bad ideas. I'll bring something up to him and he's like, yeah, you're an idiot, shut up. No,
That's not true.
he doesn't actually say that, but I can kind of tell.
Right.
I am not. I mean, I suppose it would be possible I could come up with a hook, but to actually write anything.
I think he could write a song. I
Yeah,
gotta
but it
do.
would be just like making fun of Poot or something.
Yeah. Well, making fun of people is what you do best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. I do accept.
He
You're like
did that from the stage for a few years.
You're like Don Rickles without all the money. Yeah.
Or
When
the
you
looks.
say he did it from the when he did it from the stage, like he actually went on stage on a
Oh yeah,
It
we
was
had
Elvis?
a little band. Well, when I told you that he sang "Can't Help Falling in Love,"
Yeah.
that was the start of about a 4-year run, where we played at the Legion often, up at Harbor Light, city limits. We went to Duluth one time, Grand Portage,
Where'd you play in Duluth?
but it was for a Bell telephone retirement or something. But he would pick on people in the audience.
So it was like a comedic
Shamelessly.
musical act.
No, that's just
No, I
him.
was just mean. That's why. I'd be like, oh man, look at this guy. Doesn't he look stupid? No, I didn't do that.
No, but
Wasn't quite that bad.
you would tease people.
Oh yeah.
But in a good natured way, not a mean way.
Oh. Are any of these acts like recorded where
I saw 2 or 3 tapes in there last night.
Did you?
Just having fun. That was you guys. Yeah.
Oh, how
oh
about that?
So yes,
There is something that
at
exists.
times, I guess there was some recordings. I don't know. Mostly it was music recordings. We just tapped
Oh, well,
into
maybe that's what that is. But no, one of them says a show. It's
Well, then it might be from when he did down Fisherman's.
Oh, yeah, that's probably what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, he was. Was that the first time you were Elvis down there?
No.
We had Russell Smith fly him in his plane, and he landed in the harbor, and then crawled out of the plane, and we were playing up on the.
Year you graduated. It was 95.
In 95?
Mhm.
How did I miss this?
You were probably busy doing other things.
I was probably working because that's what we did. Wow.
And I fit into that suit. Lois actually made the suit.
Yeah,
Really?
She made the suit, and
she made more than one.
no, she just made the one for me.
Oh, yeah, but she made one for him.
She made one for him when he was a little kid.
And then she made another one for me when I got older.
Yeah.
But the one you're wearing is the one that
Well, I don't actually wear it. Let's make that clear.
Oh, you run around the house in that every chance you get. That makes you slick your hair back and run around.
Oh. I was walking around like that all the time.
But you do fit it.
I do, yeah.
Maybe you guys can play an Elvis song.
I was just thinking that.
Good lady. Sing.
By the way, off camera, we have Jen, who's married to Tim, and Beth, who's married to Timmy, for other musical suggestions and hints.
I don't know. What do you know an Elvis song?
Yeah,
I
you
don't
gotta sing.
know. You know how to play it.
We could do,
Moody Blues.
I don't remember the changes of
Suspicious Minds.
Moody Blues. We could do
Fireman.
Promised Land. Promised Land.
No, I don't know.
My home in Norfolk, Virginia. No?
You know,
Remember
Blue
that?
Suede Shoes. You know, Can't Help
Burn
Falling in
in
Love.
Love.
That's
Burn in
yours.
There you go.
I can't.
That's pure
I
Elvis.
don't have a collar, so I don't know. Or the voice for it anymore.
You sing it.
Lord Almighty, feel my temperature rise. High, it's burning through my soul. Girl, you gonna set me on fire. My brain is flaming, I don't know which way to go. Give a damn. But you just said it every night, like the sweet song of a choir. Like my morning sky with burning earth.
But it is true.
You are a chunk of burning earth.
Wow. We've been chatting for an hour, and we can stop if you want to take us out with one last tune, or you can keep playing music and I'll keep recording. Or
So let's end with that. Do you want to do I Ain't Never that we practiced earlier today?
Yeah.
It's been years since we ran through a couple songs earlier, but we don't really play all that much anymore. So.
No, the last time was at New Year's Eve at Park down there.
we'll never know the difference. It sounds great.
So we've done this one a long, long time. We were doing this.
Not as long as looking back to
Well,
see.
no, but
Well,
I ain't never
Seen nobody like you. No, never have I ever seen nobody like you.
you calling me up, say to meet me at night.
I have to hurry, but I'm there on time.
I walk around, I'm gonna go.
The landlord said she ain't here no more. I ain't never, oh darling, seen nobody like you. No, never. Yes, I love you. I love you just the same.
You making me think
I love you just the same. Yes, I love you just the same. I love you just the same.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing this evening.
Yeah.
For those watching or going to watch, please like and subscribe on the channel for the Cook County Historical Society, and we'll be bringing you more Coffee with Mildred. And maybe next time we can we'll do it again with more music and whatnot. That would be lovely. So thank you again. Thanks to the Sook family, and everyone have a good night.
Thank you.